Hi, so happy to have you back. This week we'll speak about courage and vulnerability. One of my role model researchers is Brené Brown. She's at the University of Texas and she is also CEO of her own company. And she has this beautiful, beautiful quote that's strong back, soft front, and wild heart. Now, what does she mean by that? So, strong back is when you show up for what you truly want to stand for. Soft front is to still be receptive to other people's opinions and perspectives. And then the wild heart is to just be all in and really show up in the arena. I have read many of her books and I find her very inspiring. Now, when we talk about feedback, about showing up fully and about being in the arena, what does that take? It takes a lot of courage. And the courage, sometimes we may feel it. Sometimes we're like, yes, I'm all in. This is my day and I'm stepping up for the thing. And sometimes we may not feel that courageous. And the question is, how do we find that courage then? Like, what does it take? And what it takes, according to Brené's research, is the willingness to rumble with vulnerability. So, rumbling with vulnerability means that I am willing to show up in a situation, to have the tough conversation around what are some underlying needs and wants that maybe aren't met yet, or what are worries or fears that come up. And what usually holds us back is not a fear itself. What instead tends to hold us back is the armor that we put up because of a certain fear. So in order for whatever that fear is, for the consequence to not come through, we'll just get guarded. And that then prevents the real connection, and it may lead us to a reaction that we didn't want. Now, maybe you can recall a time recently where you didn't show up as your best self. Get back to that for a second. And then become really curious. What was it in that moment that triggered me? Was there maybe an underlying need that I didn't acknowledge? Or was there a feeling that I didn't acknowledge? Or was there a fear that I didn't admit to? Stay with that for a second. And then get curious about what could have been different. Like maybe you noticed that getting tight around the chest or getting tight around your stomach. That's how I often feel it when I get rigid in a conversation, and then I usually don't act as my best self. What if instead, in that particular situation, I had managed to keep a soft front, to stay open and receptive, and to acknowledge what was going on inside of me that didn't feel comfortable? Maybe there would have been a lot more space in the conversation. Maybe there would have been a new emerging future in that dialogue. And it's not about judging ourselves for whatever past behavior. It's about being curious about it and then seeing, oh, a little more reflection. Now I see that. Next time, if I get back to that, what could shift if I keep that soft front? Maybe there is a different outcome. Now, the beauty of our courage is it's contagious, which means the more I can show up in that way for myself and for the people around me, the more infectious it's going to be, and the more likely other people are to do the very same thing. And if that means that we can take conversations to a deeper level and we can connect more meaningfully, and we all can show up with more courage in our lives, with the courage to be more vulnerable with each other, then I think we can take this to a whole new level. So I would love for you to try this out a little bit over the next few days and see if that resonates, if you can find some truth in that that resonates with you and that allows you to grow a little. I know it does for me. I know if I stay in the place where I'm too comfortable, then I'm not growing. That doesn't mean we need to push ourselves to the edge all the time. It does mean we want to stay curious, especially when we realize we didn't show up as our best self in a given situation. So I want to invite you to do that, to be curious, to stay curious, and to be willing to have the awkward conversations. They're not comfortable at the time, but they often shift something towards way more comfortable after in a relationship that we have. I hope this serves you. Thank you.